Dahil sa pandemyang dulot ng COVID-19, nahaharap tayo sa matinding hamon sa edukasyon. Ngunit hindi ito hadlang para tayo ay tumigil sa pagkakatuto. Kaya naman, tayo ay gumagawa ng paraan gamit ang makabagong teknolohiya sa pagharap natin sa new normal. Tayo ay magkakaroon ng bagong classrooms at virtual class sa Sipnayan. Makakatulong ang video na ito upang lalo natin matutunan ang lessons dahil maaari natin ulit-ulitin ang discussion. Ako po si Sir Louie. Tara, aral tayo! Solving quadratic equation using 4 methods: extracting square root, factoring, completing the square, and quadratic formula. Let's begin. Let's have a review regarding extracting square root. We have the quantity x plus 2 squared minus 16 is equal to 0. We transpose negative 16 to the other side so that negative 16 will become positive 16. So the quantity x plus 2 squared is equal to positive 16. Now we have to square root the both sides of the equation. So square root both sides. This is cancel. We have x plus 2 is equal to positive negative 4. The square root of 16 is positive negative 4. So we transpose positive 2 to the other side. So we have x is equal to negative 2 plus or minus 4. We have two equations here. X is equal to negative 2 plus 4, and the other one is x is equal to negative 2 minus 4. So our x is equal to negative 2 plus 4 is positive 2, and then x is equal to negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6. So the answer is x is equal to 2 or x is equal to negative 6. Next is by factoring. So we have number 1. We have x squared minus 6x is equal to negative 8. So we arrange this into the form of ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So we have x squared minus 6x plus 8 is equal to 0. So factor it out. So we have x. Look at the constant term. The constant term is positive, therefore we have the same sign. And then the linear term is negative, so the same sign is negative. The factor of 8 is 4 times 2. So we have 4 and 2. So that if we add this, negative 4 and negative 2, that will give us negative 6. So we have two equations here. X minus 2 is equal to 0, and the other one is x minus 4 equals 0. Transpose on the other side, x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 4. Solve for the roots for number 2. So in number 2, we have 4z squared minus 12z is equal to 0. So use the common factor for this equation. So we have the common factor of 4z multiplied by the quantity z minus 3 is equal to 0. So we have two equations here. So one is 4z is equal to 0, and the other one is z minus 3 is equal to 0. Divide both sides by 4, so this is cancelled. Z is equal to 0. Z is equal to 3. Next method is completing the square. We have x squared plus 8x is equal to 0. So we have to make it a perfect squared trinomial. So get the coefficient of the linear term, which is 8 divided by 2, that's 4, and then square it. Then we have 16. So we have x squared plus 8x plus 16 is equal to 0 plus 16. So this is perfect square trinomial. Let's make it a square of binomial. So this is the quantity x plus 4 squared is equal to 16. And then use extracting square root. Square root both sides. This is cancelled. X plus 4 is equal to positive negative 4. The square root of 16 is positive negative 4. So we have x is equal to negative 4 plus 4, x is equal to negative 4 minus 4. So let's solve the first root. X is equal to 0. The second root is x is equal to negative 8. So these are the roots for the quadratic equation using completing the square. So the last is the quadratic formula. We have the formula of x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So let's solve this quadratic equation using quadratic formula. We have x squared plus 8 is equal to 10x. So again, we arrange this in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So this is x squared minus 10x plus 8 is equal to 0. And then identify the value of a, the value of b, and the value of c. A is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 10, and c is 8. Then we plug in or we substitute the value for the quadratic formula. So we have x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Then we have x is equal to negative 10 plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is negative 10 squared, minus 4 times 1 and times 8 all over 2 times 1. So we have x is equal to positive 10 plus or minus the square root of 100 minus 32 all over 2. Then we have 10 plus or minus the square root of 68 all over 2. So think of a factor of 68 that has a perfect square. X is equal to 10 plus or minus the square root of 4 times 17 all over 2. And then we have 10 plus or minus the square root of 4 is 2. So 2 square root of 17 all over 2. So we have two equations. One is 10 plus 2 square root of 17 all over 2. And the other one is x is equal to 10 minus 2 square root of 17 all over 2. The first root is x is equal to 10 divided by 2 is 5 plus 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we have square root of 17. And the other one is x is equal to 10 divided by 2 is 5 minus 2 divided by 2 is 1 square root of 17. So the first root is x is equal to 5 plus square root of 17. And the second root is 5 minus square root of 17. Now try this. Solve for the roots of quadratic equation 2 times the quantity x plus 3 squared is equal to 18. Now, by using 4 methods. We have 2 times the quantity x plus 3 squared is equal to 18. First is by extracting square root. So, by extracting square root, 2 times the quantity x plus 3 squared is equal to 18. We divide both sides by 2 so that 2 here will be cancelled. The quantity x plus 3 squared is equal to 9. And then we square root both sides. We have square root on both sides. This is cancelled. So we have x plus 3 is equal to positive negative 3. So we transpose positive 3 to the other side. We have x is equal to negative 3 plus or minus 3. So we have x is equal to negative 3 plus 3. And the other one is x is equal to negative 3 minus 3. So the first root is equal to 0 and the second root is equal to negative 6. By factoring, we have 2 times the quantity x plus 3 squared is equal to 18. First, we FOIL the quantity x plus 3 squared. We have 2 times the quantity x squared plus 6x plus 9 is equal to 18. Then we divide both sides by 2. 2 here will be cancelled. So we have x squared plus 6x plus 9 is equal to 9. Then we transpose 9 on the other side. So we have x squared plus 6x plus 9 minus 9 is equal to 0. So combining like terms, we cancel this positive 9 and negative 9. So we have x squared plus 6x is equal to 0. Using the common factor, we have x times the quantity x plus 6 is equal to 0. X is equal to 0 and the other one is x plus 6 is equal to 0. X is equal to negative 6. So the roots are x is equal to 0 and x is equal to -6. Next, we have completing the square. 2 times the quantity x plus 3 squared is equal to 18. So again, we FOIL the quantity x plus 3 squared. We have 2 times x squared plus 6x plus 9 is equal to 18. So divide both sides by 2. So that 2 will be cancelled. X squared plus 6x plus 9 is equal to 9. And then transpose 9 on the other side. So we have x squared plus 6x plus 9 minus 9 is equal to 0. This is cancelled. So we have x squared plus 6x is equal to 0. Then make it a perfect square trinomial by getting the numerical coefficient of x. We have 6 over 2, or 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3, and then 3 squared is 9. X squared plus 6x plus 9 is equal to 0 plus 9. So this is a perfect square trinomial. Make it a square of binomial, that is x plus 3 squared is equal to 9. Using extracting square root, we square root both sides, and then this is cancelled. So we have x plus 3 is equal to positive -3. So we have x is equal to -3 plus 3, and the other one is x is equal to -3 minus 3. So we have here x is equal to 0 and x is equal to -6. So the last method is the quadratic formula. We simplify this equation and we come up of x squared plus 6x plus 9 is equal to 9. We have x squared plus 6x is equal to 0. So we identify the value of a, the value of b, and the value of c. So a is 1, b is 6, and c is equal to 0. Then we use the quadratic formula of -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So we plug in the values or substitute the value. We have x is equal to -6 plus or minus the square root of 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 0 all over 2. So simplifying this, we have -6 plus or minus the square root of -6 squared is 36. Then 4 times 1 times 0 is 0. So minus 0 all over 2. Then we have x is equal to -6 plus or minus 6 all over 2. One is x is equal to -6 plus 6 all over 2. And the other one is x is equal to -6 minus 6 all over. Then we have x is equal to -6 plus 6 is 0. 0 divided by 2 is 0. And the other root is x is equal to -6 minus 6 is -12 divided by 2 is -6. I hope you like our lesson solving quadratic equation using 4 methods. Thank you, and I see you again next time.